And I've always had hugely profound embodied visions ever since I was a child. I've seen angels, I've seen spirit, light and dark. Ever since I could remember, it's been the most normal thing. And these are not just imaginings, they're proper, fully embodied evocations and visions that come in varying degrees of potency. And, I always wondered why that was. It made me realize, well, that huge trauma that was at the gateway of my birth and my death, it was a birth death, a death birth. And my work has always led me into birth and death. So I go through really painful endings and really incredible beginnings. Like it's always this gateway. And I also, through the work that I do with spirit, I do a lot of soul midwifery. I've helped countless babies be born, high level souls come into the world. So I've done a lot of death work and helped souls pass to the higher levels where they're meant to go, to the highest point of their evolution. And nobody ever taught me to do that. I just remembered it. I remember lifetimes in ancient Egypt. I remember being trained in how to do that from other lifetimes. I remember a lifetime in particular where I was a very elderly Egyptian priestess. And at the end of my life, I chose when I wanted to leave, and I knew where I was going. And I lay down on an altar in the temple, and I stepped out of my body and I ascended. So yeah, there's been a lot of pivotal moments. I don't think the awakening is ever a definitive one thing. You suddenly wake up and there you are. I think we go through levels of it.
If we choose to take these initiations, choose to accept these opportunities for growth, it does grow us. It's like another portal, another doorway, another deepening into remembrance of who we are. We are multidimensional beings. We've had many lives, and let's access all of the wisdom that we hold within us to remember how powerful we are and that we're never alone on this journey.
Oh, probably the most powerful, uh, there were a couple of them, but probably the first most powerful angelic experience I've ever had. It's usually with the archangels for me. And I had tried to shut it down for many years. I tried to fit in and be normal, especially when I was in my 20s, and I couldn't avoid it anymore. And I when I moved to London, I started having all these spiritual experiences and had my great grandmother appear to me and all these things, and I really got called to my path. And I signed up finally after much resistance to a healing course. This was probably back in like 2007 or 2008. And I'd started finally saying, all right, angels, all right, if you're there, then I need the evidence again. Because I remembered having the experiences as a child, but I'd shut it down for so long. And then I went through a really hard time in London. And then my mother said to me, well, have you asked the angels for help? And the minute I started asking for help, they were there. But it started as an adult, as seeing the word angel everywhere, seeing the feathers, the coin, that kind of thing. But then as soon as I stepped onto the healing path and went to do a certification in a healing system, I had an unbelievable experience with Metatron. And I just closed my eyes and asked which angel was with me. And my whole energy field was like blasted open. The world as I knew it disappeared. I was outside of all time and space. And the only way I can describe this is that I didn't see Metatron, I became him.
Mhm.
I was that angel. I could see, it was weird, I could see him from all angles, and yet I was embodying him. Bigger than the universe, huge, bigger than the universe. And this is why when I write about angels, I write about them really as the bridge between our human self and the divine. They are, in some ways, levels of consciousness.